Everybody know where we're going today? Where are we going? University of Toledo. Oh, yes. All right. Well, we're going to go over to McDonald's that we pre-ordered breakfast, pick that up, and then everybody knows the routine. Everybody know the creed? Yeah. I forgot to say that was a requirement, and we'll recite that in a little bit. Just want to say good morning, and I'm honored to be able to be a part of this outing, activity, exposure field trip with you. Prepared for an exciting college tour. I got a feeling somebody on this bus is going to be here in a year or two. So ask good questions and be on your best behavior as you are representing yourselves, your community, and your school. And I'm serious when I say I can see some of you at this university, especially some of you juniors and that are upcoming and selecting schools. So look at University of Toledo. It's real close to home, and it could be a good choice for you. I've been on these trips before, and in a year or two, Students of Promise have been on some of the same campuses that we came to visit.
I want to welcome you all to the University of Toledo. Again, my name is Christopher Scott, aka Mr. UT. I am originally from the Cleveland, Ohio area. I grew up on the east side of town. I went to East Tech High School, graduate of class of 2009. This is currently my 6th year here at the University of Toledo. I finished my bachelor's degree in education here, and most recently just finished my master's degree in education. Can I get a little bit of love for graduating? Just a little bit of love. Thank you. All right, so let me kind of give you an idea of where we are on campus. All right, so we are currently hanging out over here in Rocket Hall. Yeah, we are over here in Rocket Hall. The office that I work in is Libby Hall over here. All right. You all passed the Glass Bowl, our football stadium, when you came in, so you pretty much came from this route all the way over here to Rocket Hall. If you follow my pointer, there is a row of trees that run through our campus. And this is actually the Ottawa River.
It's a river?
Yep. And what this does is it separates the academic side of campus, so this area down here, from the housing side of campus, which is this area up here. All right, so in simplest terms, this is where you'll be doing most of your working during the day, and this is where you'll be doing most of your sleeping during the day. All right. For me personally, coming from Cleveland, Ohio, I had 3 reasons on why I picked to go to the University of Toledo. All right. First reason was I had 13 friends from my high school, East Tech, that were planning on going here, and for me that was just a big deal to know I was going to know somebody going to the same school I was going to. The second reason was it had all the majors that I was interested in. So it was pharmacy, education, and business. So in the case that one of those didn't work out for me, I didn't have to switch and go over to a whole new school. I could just switch my major and stay right here at UT. The third reason for me was UT was far enough away from home to where like my family couldn't bother me. But it was close enough to home that if I ever wanted to get back for those major holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving, I could just hop on the E-way and get back home. All right, throughout this tour today, we're going to get a chance to talk a little bit more about what's making you nervous about college. College is not as hard as people make it out to be. Let me just tell you that straight up. It's not as hard as people make it out to be. We'll talk more about that as we proceed throughout our presentation. But one thing I will say is necessary for college is going to take sacrifice. And did everybody say sacrifice? Sacrifice. I heard 2 people. Everybody say sacrifice. Sacrifice. College is going to take sacrifice. And if you are serious about succeeding in college, one of the biggest things you may have to sacrifice so you can be successful, I'm about to hurt somebody's feelings.
Cell phone.
It's going to be your cell phone. Listen to me. There are people who are supposed to walk that stage with them bachelor's degrees who didn't make it because they weren't ready to put up their cell phone. You all probably know people in high school. Where my seniors at? My seniors, you probably know people in high school who should be walking that stage here coming up in June, but ain't about to walk that stage because they don't know how to put up their cell phones. There was a lot of people who were supposed to finish with that master's degree who didn't make it because they didn't know how to sacrifice their cell phones. So what do I mean when I say sacrifice your cell phone? I don't mean take it and throw it against the wall and break it. Some of us are still on payment plans where you're trying to pay for your phone and pay the bill all at the same time. So I don't need you to break it. You just got to know when to put that thing up so you can focus in class. Now, along with sacrifices, y'all did say I can keep it 100 with y'all, right?
Yeah.
Along with sacrifices, there may be some people that you have to sacrifice so you can be successful. And sometimes them people can be the people that you consider to be your day ones. Listen to me. Some of us in this room got day ones that don't even act like day ones. I don't even know why we gave them that title. Listen to me real quick. Look, Listen, a hater is comfortable around you when you are average. I'm going to say that again. A hater is comfortable around you when you are average. A hater can manifest his way inside your circle, your crew, when you are average. It is only when you start to become extraordinary when you start to figure out who your real haters are. The people that you think are your haters right now, they're nothing but decoys. You ain't seen your real haters yet. Once you start to get real serious about your education and people start seeing that you're trying to go somewhere, that you want to be somebody, you're going to start seeing people change up on you that you would have never thought would have been changing up on you. Sometimes it might be your closest friends, and in some cases, it might even be family. Some services for success. So how I survived my freshman year. I utilized the tutoring service. The Learning Enhancement Center is a service that helps you out with any math or science materials you may be struggling with. Utilize them as much as you possibly need to. The Writing Center, they help you out with writing papers. These are at no cost to you, and you can use them as much as you possibly need to. Career Services, these folks help you find job opportunities on and off campus. A quick student-to-student tip. I recommend finding you an on-campus job opportunity versus off-campus job opportunities, and I say that because they understand that you're a student first. Many of them, they're teaching you skills you can actually add on to your resume. A lot of times they pay more than a lot of the off-campus job opportunities do. But one of the coolest things about on-campus job opportunities is they'll actually let you work on the clock and you can sit there and do your homework and still get paid. All right, so I recommend an on-campus job opportunity. Won't talk too much about the Carson Library. That's our main library here on campus. Success coaches and academic advisors. So when I came in, they didn't have success coaches here. But when you think of your success coach, this is kind of like your parent away from home. They help you out with anything that you may need outside of your academics. So job opportunities, whatever it is you may be needing help with outside of your academics. Your academic advisors, these are the folks that actually help you schedule your classes, all right? And you typically meet them when you come to campus for orientation for the first time. I want to talk about this thing called Freshman 15. Let's see by show of hands who's heard about Freshman 15. Oh, wow, that's it? Okay, all right. Well, for everybody else, all right. So here's the rumor. The rumor is after your freshman year of college, you will have gained a whopping, and I do mean whopping, 15 pounds. Yes, when you go home, your family not going to even be able to recognize you.
I'm not getting no 15 pounds.
They're going to be whispering about you as soon as you turn your back. Now, I'm going to give you the E! Hollywood true story on what happened to Chris Scott. All right, so when I got here a few years ago, I was roughly 120 pounds. I'm now 220, okay? So freshman 15, you ain't got to judge me like that. I like to eat just like anybody else. But what basically happens to you is once you actually get in on campus and your family gets done crying and they finally leave, there's going to be free food just about everywhere you turn. You got people riding around in golf carts literally throwing ice cream out at you. You got people over here cooking hot dogs and hamburgers. Pizza's going to become like one of your number one best friends in college. And get this, once you swipe into these dining halls to eat, it is all you can eat. And on top of that, there are some places on campus that will deliver food to your bedroom door. Look, I ain't done. I ain't done. Look, up to 4 o'clock in the morning. So you laugh at me, but I will see y'all when your freshman year is over, okay? All right. And all this talk about food that made me a little hungry. Anybody out there want to see a quick magic trick? Yeah. Food magic trick? All right, cool. So what we are going to do, we're going to make some ice cream. Anybody out there like ice cream? All right, cool. We got some people that love some ice cream. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to make some ice cream, all right? What we are going to do, no peeking. All right. What we are going to do is we're going to take this ordinary t-shirt. Anybody know who our rival school is? I got a prize for you if you do. I got a prize for you. All right. What we are going to do is we're going to take this old, plain, boring t-shirt, and we are going to turn this into ice cream, okay? Y'all ready? Ready to see this? And you may ask why I got the gloves on. Some stuff we're not allowed to touch with our bare hands, you know? Okay. This shade is real. All right, let's put this in this box. All right, so what we are going to do, for this to be successful, we must say a chant. All right, for this to be successful, we must say a chant together. All right, and the chant goes like this. Hocus pocus, your rival school is bogus, all right? That is the chant we must say for this to be successful, okay? All right, going to do it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hocus pocus, your rival school is bogus. I love it. All right, good. This is going to work. All right. Wow. we have been able to transform an ordinary t-shirt into chocolate ice cream. How good is that? How good is that? Thank you, thank you. 5 classes per semester. Kind of give you an idea what a schedule looks like in college. So you're taking 5 classes for the semester, right? On Monday, you may have 2 of those classes for an hour and 15 minutes apiece, and then you free. What time do you all have to be in school every day?
8:05.
Somebody said 7, somebody said 8. Somebody going too early.
Before 8:15.
Before 8:15, what time y'all get out? 3 o'clock. Ooh, long day. All right, so to kind of give you an idea. So in college, on Monday, again, you may have a class, 2 classes for an hour, 15 minutes apiece, and then you're free. Your Monday classes repeats on Wednesdays, and on Fridays, depending on how good you schedule, you may not have Friday classes. All right, and then your other 3 classes may be on Tuesday for an hour and 15 minutes apiece, and then you free. And those Tuesday classes repeats on Thursdays, and you don't take weekend classes. So you see what I'm saying? You're not in school from 8 a.m. to 3 o'clock every day. You have a lot of freedom throughout your schedule. So looking at that, so the instructional fee is about $4,000 for the semester, $8,000 for the year. A quick tip I always love to share with my students: don't you ever miss your first day of class. I don't care how late you stayed up Sunday night doing whatever you was doing, make sure you are in class on that Monday morning. And I say that because your first day of class is an opportunity for you to size up your professor, so you kind of get a feel for what they're going to be like. Are they going to be real strict in the class? Are they going to be lightweight, laid back? They're going to go over the syllabus with you. And a lot of the times they let you out early anyway on the first day of class, so don't miss your first day of class, all right? Listen to me, your GPA, that grade point average, it is like your baby. If you take care of your GPA, it will take care of you. Doesn't matter if your family's bringing in a lot of money or if your family's bringing in a little bit of money. If you are taking care of that GPA, it will take care of you. Here's one cool thing that I found out about college. Once you actually get into college, whether you're coming out of high school with a 2.0 or a 4.5, once you actually get into college, you start over with a fresh 4.0 like everybody else. So your job is to maintain it. And the better you can take care of that GPA, the more opportunities will be there for you, all right? 6 different places you can look for scholarships. First place I recommend you check. You want to check with your high school's alumni branch. Check with your high school's alumni branch. I'll be honest, I didn't even know my high school had an alumni branch. I was one of the only students that went into the main office and asked to see if our alumni were offering any scholarships. I'm not joking. I got $6,500 to come to UT. One of the only students. Second place I recommend you checking for scholarships. You want to check with your parents' places of work. You'd be surprised how many students I have that'll come back to me and be like, hey man, my mom or my dad didn't even know their job offered scholarship opportunities. So I want you to check there. If either of you have any jobs that you are working, I want you to check with your places of work as well. So go to your manager and ask and see if there's any scholarships that are available. The third place, and actually one of my favorite places, you want to check with whoever you and your family banks with. Whoever you and your family banks with. I'll give you a true story. I had a young man come up, this was last January, I had a young man come up from Cincinnati, Ohio. He said, Mr. UT, I'm looking for some additional scholarships. Where else should I look? I said, check with whoever you and your family bank with. Turned out they bank with the same people that I bank with, which is Key Bank. He said, he called me back somewhere in March. He said, Key Bank gave him a $10,000 scholarship to come to UT. Wow. $10,000 scholarship. Of course, spread out over 4 years, but 10 grand. Fourth place I'll consider you checking for scholarships, and because y'all from Cleveland, I got the scoop on this one. You want to check with a lot of the local for-profit and non-profit businesses that are surrounding the Cleveland area. So if you aren't hip to the Cleveland Foundation give out tons of scholarships each year. Actually, I got a $10,000 scholarship from them to go to UT. And we're going to talk about how to get to the money in a second. I promise you, we're going to talk about how to get to it. All right, so you want to check there. Check with all of our sports teams. The Cavaliers give out a scholarship. The Indians give out a scholarship. Not sure what the Browns is doing on the field, but they give out a scholarship too. All right, so you want to check there. Fifth place you want to consider looking for scholarships. You want to check out a lot of these places that y'all eat at on a day-to-day basis. A lot of people don't know Wendy's offers a scholarship, McDonald's, Burger King, I'm serious. Chick-fil-A, Chipotle, not sure what happened with their meat recently, don't care, Chipotle is good. You remember they had that meat outbreak? You remember that?
That was a minute ago. Why are you bringing that up?
You're right. I should have left that alone. So you want to check out a lot of these places y'all eat at on a day-to-day basis. The sixth place you want to consider looking for scholarships. If you go onto our homepage and in that little white search box, you type in general scholarships. This is going to bring up scholarships that our alumni give out to students to go to UT, which is completely different from that grid that I just showed you. So you want to check there. And because y'all been laughing at my jokes, I'll give y'all 2 more. All right. You also want to check with your college-specific concentration. So if you're an education major, you want to check with the education college at the University of Toledo for scholarships. That's completely different from what our office gives out and completely different from what our alumni are giving out to go to UT. And one other place you can check, you also just want to check with your local library. Sometimes your local library is really good for letting you know about a lot of the scholarships that are in the local area from like the different organizations that are in the area. So you want to check there as well. Now here's why most students don't get scholarships. If you don't believe me, look it up, do your own research. In Ohio alone last year, there were millions of dollars in scholarships that were returned because students didn't apply. Why aren't students applying for scholarships? Well, think about it. When you are in your senior year, there's 3 things that you're focused on. First thing, making sure you graduate, right? Second thing, trying to figure out what you're going to do for prom. And the third thing, trying to figure out what school you're going to go to. So by the time that you're figuring all these things out, by the time that you actually figure out these things, a lot of these scholarship applications have opened and closed behind you. So by the time you determine what school you want to go to, a lot of those applications that were out there are already gone. Most scholarship applications open for my seniors, they're open from November all the way up and through June. And I'm not just talking about the college-specific ones, I'm talking about general ones that are out there as well. So you want to get on the hunt. Here's what I recommend you do if you haven't already started looking for scholarships. I want you to go online, find your scholarship application that has a deadline that's slowly approaching, or one that has a deadline that has already passed. What I want you to do is I want you to print it out and I want you to answer all the questions that's on there. It's going to ask you about your extracurricular activities. It's going to ask you about your community service. Let me stop us right there. Time is your most valuable asset, and people want to see where you are donating your time for free. So if you don't have any community service hours under your belt, I highly recommend putting some under your belt. And for some of those who are still trying to figure out what you're passionate about, I know for me, doing service work actually helped me figure out what my passions were. And then it's going to ask you to write an essay in 750 words or less, 500 words or less, or 250 words or less about who you are and what you want to do with yourself. So here's what you do is you write out this essay while you're still in high school. Take it to that English or writing teacher. Have them look over it. Make sure it's free of any errors. And what you do is you take this same essay, use it for 1 million different scholarships. Drops mic. Now, you don't want to necessarily just copy and paste. Don't hear me when I say you don't necessarily want to just copy and paste, but you want to take the same information. A lot of times they're asking you the same questions anyway, who you are and what you want to do with yourself. So you just want to make sure you change it up. The essays that I created in high school, I still use those to this day. I keep them on my iCloud. Whenever I need to create something new, pull them down and go ahead and start writing into them and send them off. One of the reasons a lot of students don't get scholarships is because they don't apply and they're afraid to write that essay. So when you get ready to sit down and do an essay, think about what I said, because this is where a lot of students miss out on money and opportunity. Now, there's a couple of things that we must go over before we take off on our tour. First and foremost, this is the cape with the juice. And the only person that can rock this cape is somebody that got the juice. Anybody out there got the juice? You got the juice? He got the juice. Okay, let me hook you up. I'm going to hook you up. He got the juice. There you go. There you go. He got the juice. There we go. All right. Now, as we're taking our tour, we're going to have some people yelling at us. I must tell y'all, there's going to be some people yelling at us, and it's not because they want no problems or anything like that. You know, from Cleveland, we don't do that. But they're going to be yelling at us. Some people are going to be trying to get us to see whether or not we got the UT spirit. So they're going to be hitting us with the TOL, and we got to hit them back with EDO as hard as we can. That Cleveland from inside the core, that EDO, like what's up? Like that kind of EDO. All right, so we're going to do a practice round. I'm going to hit y'all with the TOL. And y'all got to hit me as hard as you can. Don't physically hit me, but hit me with EDO as hard as you can, all right? All right. TOL! EDO! Okay, Cleveland, okay. Let's go. I'm going to point out a couple of different things as we're walking. Over here, this building that you see back here, that's actually International House. We get a lot of students that come from different countries that want to go to the University of Toledo. A lot of them tend to stay at International House. If you're looking for some diversification on your food, I highly recommend going to eat at International House. Behind me, this is actually Ottawa House West and President's Hall. The building that we are coming out, this is Rocket Hall. You can remember Rocket Hall because it has the 3 horses out in front. This is the place you go if you have any financial aid related questions. Over here, these are on-campus lofts. That Barnes & Noble, that's our on-campus bookstore there. We got 2 on-campus bookstores, one on the other side, one on this side. I already pointed out Rocket Hall, International House. This is President's Hall. This one right here, this is actually Ottawa House East. That's where I stayed my freshman year on the 4th floor. And we're gonna actually get a chance to go inside President's Hall. This is pretty much like one of the lounge areas. Also the resident advisor on these floors. Every floor has a resident advisor, and the resident advisor is pretty much like the information guru on your floor. They help you out with finding resources and stuff on campus if you need it. Resident advisor, they throw different things in here. So sometimes they'll throw like a gang tournament in here, and it'll be specifically for this floor versus the other floor, or whatever the case may be. These are co-ed residence halls, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get a chance to see the inside of one of the rooms. We have two different style residence halls. There's traditional style, and then there's suite style. Suite style residence halls can be up to 6 persons or 4 people living inside of a suite together. We are currently standing in a 6-person suite. I actually stayed in a 4-person suite, which is actually at Ottawa House East. And then you also have your traditional style residence halls. Traditional style was Parks Tower, that building that we passed when we were walking over from Rocket Hall. That is a traditional style, and that's 2 students to a room, and then you have a shared restroom along the floor. Now in traditional style residence hall, those kind of cater to incoming freshmen. Suite style kind of cater to upperclassmen, but anybody can live in here if they wanted to. A couple of things I do want to point out. So there's some blue emergency poles that are around on our campus. For whatever reason, if you don't happen to have your cell phone and you happen to see some type of emergency on campus, you push one of those buttons, they'll take a screenshot of where you are and what's going on around you. We have 2 police stations that sit on our campus, one that actually sits over here and one that sits over on our Scott Park campus. They are always circling through our campus. Again, push the button.
No, push. Is it police?
Oh. Like, wait a minute, what? All right, so no, we got 2 police stations on our campus. There were some other questions that were out there. Who had questions for me? Go ahead.
Okay, I got 2 questions.
All right.
First one was, if I have some type of reason to get suspended, will I really just get suspended for a little bit, or will they just be like, you can't go here no more because it's more strict than college?
Beautiful question. All right, so there's a couple of different ways you can go ahead and get in trouble on campus or get suspended in any case. So first, let's say you aren't taking care of your academics. So first semester, you just been partying it up, you only been to 2 of your classes, you'll get placed on what they call academic probation. Academic probation means this is your last chance to get it together. If you don't get it together after this, we're kicking you off. Any other questions? Let's keep it moving. Over here behind me, this is actually the Glass Bowl. This is our football stadium. Students do get into all games for free. All you gotta do is bring your student ID. If you happen to have your best friend that look like you, once you swipe in, just pass it to them. No, I'm just playing, don't do that. But you do get into the games for free. If you look past it, that's the bell tower back there. That's actually the academic side of campus. And we won't go that far today because I don't want y'all to be mad at me for making you walk too much. But that is actually on the other side of campus. This over here is Macoma's Village. That's the Greek village where a lot of our Greek organizations live on campus. And we'll pass through that as we're working our way back through here. Along with that, we do have our elliptical machines. As you can see, we passed those on our way in. So if you're trying to lose that freshman 100, you'll come in here and get your workout on. So they put you in a harness, you and your team, and y'all got to work y'all way through it. Anybody want to try it today? Whatever, y'all lying. We gonna get the equipment.
Again, it was really a pleasure to have y'all on campus today. Again, coming from Cleveland, it's always good to see other Cleveland folks and to see that our organizations in the community are still doing tours like this. So I tip my hat to you all. But again, one thing I do want to share, when y'all are taking these college tours and these college visits, please don't just go to have fun and just enjoy it. I mean, that's a part of it. Don't get me wrong, that's a part of it. But make sure you're taking something away from it that you can take. It's something that you learn from that visit.
Museum of African American History is one of the oldest museums of African American history in the entire world. Now, how do we know that the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History is one of the oldest museums of African American history in the entire world? Well, that's easy. See, this museum was founded back in 1965 by, anybody know his name? Charles what? H what? All right, just make sure y'all paying attention. Yes, Dr. Charles H. Wright is the founder of this illustrious institution. But the thing is, Dr. Wright was not a doctor of history. Dr. Wright was a doctor of obstetrics and gynecology. deliver babies? 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 He's actually credited to have delivered over 7,000 babies during his career. Thing is, even though he wasn't a doctor of history, he was still a very firm believer that if people don't understand their past, they can't really operate in their present. And if you can't operate in your present, you can't really excel into your future. So when he did his tours and lectures all around the world, he collected artifacts, put them into his own doctor's office. See, this entire institution actually started in the basement of his doctor's office. But as it grew, it outgrew the basement. They turned that entire building into the International Afro Museum. And then it outgrew that building. So then they opened up a mobile museum. They loaded everything into a tractor trailer and drove it around the state. Then it outgrew the trailer. So then they worked out a deal with the city of Detroit to actually build the building that could hold everything they've been gathering over the years. That building is now 2 streets over. It's the building with the red triangles at the top. Now that building is now part of the College of Creative Studies, but in 1987, it opened its doors as the Museum of African American History here in the city of Detroit. They're showing everybody there's a spiritual connection that exists between the United States of America and the continent of Africa. Below them, there's this man holding this book. Now that book is known as the Book of Knowledge. The Book of Knowledge is anything that you can get knowledge from. We've had people say it's the Bible, had people say it's the Quran, had people say it's the Torah, had people say it's a textbook. Shoot, we done had some people say it's a tablet, a Kindle. There's like 3 people that still shop at Barnes & Noble that say it's a Nook. Nope, nobody shops at Barnes & Noble anymore. Amazon Prime, free 2-day shipping. It's a beautiful thing. But it doesn't even have to be something you physically put in your hand either. It could be stories that you heard from your parents, your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles. Anything that's put knowledge into you is represented by the Book of Knowledge. Across from him, there's this man with his arms stretching up, almost as if he is praying to the Creator. See, this man represents upward mobility. When you get the knowledge, when you find out who you are, what you're capable of doing, what you're capable of being, it doesn't matter where you start. You can rise above any circumstance to achieve greatness. That is what this figure represents. The ability to overcome. And at the very bottom, 2 sets of golden chains. Now these chains have a double meaning. First off, they do represent slavery, like it existed back in the day in this country. Even come together at one of the major cash crops during that time. Cotton. And there wasn't just cotton. There was rice, tobacco, sugar. But if you look at these chains, they're broken at the cotton plants. See, slavery doesn't exist in that form in this country anymore. But they're still connected on the sides. And that's the second meaning. Unity. See, everything that we go through, the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, the triumphs, and the tragedies, connect us all. See, these now represent us. They represent us as a nation. They represent us as a people. They tell us that we're either going to rise or we're going to fall. But we're going to do it as one. We make that choice. One last thing in this room, if you looked up and around the ceiling, you may have noticed the flags. There are 92 countries represented up there. Collectively, they are known as the African diaspora. These are countries that people were taken from, taken to, or escaped to during the time of the transatlantic slave trade. You'll see everything up there from Nigeria to Algeria to Zimbabwe, Rwanda, the United States, Canada, Cuba, Mexico. Any place that somebody was taken from, taken to, or escaped to is represented throughout the diaspora. And like I said, we're going to take a tour of the main exhibit. Look at the display. You see the little people?
Yeah.
Did you notice that some of them are black?
Yeah.
Some of them are white?
Some of them brown.
Some of them are brown.
Some gray.
Some of them are gray. They're people of different colors, different backgrounds, different nationalities. But they all coming together for one purpose, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the dream. People coming together, not being judged by what they look like, not being judged by where they come from, only being judged by who they are as a person, the content of their character. So those that created this monument, they had a couple of options, right? I could put a quote from I Have a Dream on the wall, then people come by and be like, "Ooh, I have a dream," take a picture, walk away. Or I could dedicate the entire monument to that dream, to that idea. Which means that every person that goes to visit just became part of the dream.
Making it come true.
As you walk the grounds, you're walking it into a reality.